One of our customers asked us last week that they need to run containers in Azure. Which option do they choose? There's AKS, Kubernetes, and there's also Container Apps. What's the main difference? Hi everyone, Parveen here, Microsoft certified trainer and also cloud consultant, and welcome back to the channel. This is one of the most common questions I get asked, and my answer has changed dramatically over the years. Container Apps has dramatically changed over the year, and for the most use cases that you would need AKS for, Container Apps feels like a better option. Let me give you a mental model to help you understand what the key differences between AKS and Container App is. When you own a car, you control everything. The maintenance, the upgrades, the modification, total flexibility, but you are responsible for the oil change, insurance, and every details. That is AKS, Azure Kubernetes Services. Microsoft manages the Kubernetes control plane, but you manage all the nodes, the networking piece, the ingress controller, scaling, monitoring setup, and all the operational complexity. On the other hand, for Container Apps, the Uber is different. You don't own the car or think about the maintenance. You just say, take me from A to B. That's Azure Container Apps. You focus on your application code, and Azure handles all the scaling, networking, and the infrastructure, and almost everything about it. Here's what has changed recently. Azure Container App now has VNet integration, better security, and more deployment options. All the stuff that you would need AKS before are now all available in Azure Container App with a lot less operational overhead. Both run the same container app. The real difference is in how you manage, build, and operationalize it. Let's figure out which one you actually need. Let's dive into 5 key factors. For each one, I'll give you when to choose AKS and when to choose Azure Container Services. The first factor is your team expertise. Kubernetes has a really steep learning curve. All the services, network, ingress, controllers, pods, nodes. It takes weeks to months to learn if you don't really have any information or you don't really know how to operationalize it. Choose AKS if you already have Kubernetes expertise in your team, or you are migrating workload from on-premises, or you're committing to investing in the Kubernetes skills in your team. Choose Container App if your team wants to focus more on application development or you want to ship faster without months of learning. The second factor is operational complexity. With AKS, you're managing all the clusters, all the nodes, doing the upgrades, backup, troubleshooting the complex issues. Even with managed node, you still have a lot to manage and overhead to see. Container App eliminates most of these issues. There's no node to manage, there's no cluster upgrade, automatic scaling is in there, the built-in monitoring and observability tools are available. Your focus shifts from managing infrastructure to managing application. If you're looking for full control and you have a platform engineering team, or you just want the operational flexibility, choose AKS. However, if you don't have a managed team or somebody looking after the infrastructure most of the time, choose Container App Services. The third factor is the cost model. AKS charges for the VM running 24/7 regardless of the workload. The control plane is free of charge for some of the tiers, but there's still a baseline charge even if you do right sizing and use spot instances. The container apps, on the other hand, use consumption pricing, so you pay per vCPU or the memory charge per second. Scaling to 0 means zero cost for idle time except a small environment charge. Let's look at an example here. Our development environment running 8 hours a day, 5 days a week would cost almost about $500 per month for AKS just for the nodes running 24/7. For Container App Services, that would nearly equate to $100 to $150 per month for all the usage except when it's idle. So if you're looking for high compute density or a workload that's running 24/7, or if you're using reserved instances, choose AKS. Whereas if you have variable traffic in your application or you want a consumption-based pricing for the application which may not be running 24/7, Container App may be a best option for you. The fourth factor is the workload type. AKS excels at complex microservice application and also the legacy applications. There are some applications that need certain Kubernetes features such as stateful set and daemon set as well. The Container App, on the other hand, is perfect for stateless and event-driven microservices, APIs, and web applications, especially when the rapid deployment matters more than the infrastructure piece. So if you're running stateful applications or applications that need certain Kubernetes specific features, choose AKS. Whereas if you're building modern event-driven applications and anything with the Dapr, Container App is the perfect choice for you. Let's talk about the fifth and the most important factor, which is networking and security. AKS gives you the full control of the Azure networking. There's Azure CNI, service mesh, private cluster, complex network scenarios, and also express route integration. You have the most control and the full responsibility. Container App, on the other hand, now supports VNet integration, controlled egress, private endpoint, and also private connectivity to different Azure services. It is simpler than AKS, but it is sufficient for most organizations out there. Both services can now be fully private. So it really boils down to how much of network control and security control you're looking for. So here's my advice. Start with the Azure Container App Services if you're unsure. It's easier to grow into complexity later on than to start with the complexity and then simplifying later. Container App covers 80% of the containerized workload needs without having the AKS burden. If you hit a limit where you genuinely need AKS, you'll know it clearly. Your container apps are portable. You can migrate all the specific workloads to AKS without affecting any of your existing infrastructure while also keeping the container apps running. Don't pick AKS just because of the hype, thinking that you will need Kubernetes one day. Choose based on specific requirements of the application, your team's excellence, and also the operational overhead that comes with it. For most teams starting out and building new applications, Container App is the perfect choice for you. It's mature, cost-effective, and way simpler to manage. For teams with special requirements and the Kubernetes expertise, feel free to choose AKS. If you are leaning towards AKS or Container App, drop in your scenario in the comments and I would love to help you think through your decision. Thank you for watching till the end. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more practical Azure content. I'm Parveen Singh and I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious and keep building.